We left Spokane and traveled 306 miles to Revelstoke, BC, and we traveled about 50 miles north of Spokane here to Newport and took a rest. We all had Sena communicators where we could talk to each other all the time or listen to music. We traveled about another 10 miles to Medellin Falls. They have a population of about 250 people. It's an old mining town, about 13 miles from the Canadian border. It's about 100 miles from our house to the Canadian border crossing. Not much happening at these little border crossings. Here we are at the Galena Ferry landing loading ramp, which takes us across the Columbia River to Shelter Bay, about 3 miles away. Takes about 15 minutes to get across the Columbia River. And we ran into a few other motorcycle riders that were crossing with us on the ferry, so we conversed with them while we were crossing. And here, 306 miles later, we arrive in Revelstoke. And here we are just kind of getting ready to go out, get a bite to eat. We got up early in the morning to leave Revelstoke, and it was about 45 degrees out. It was pretty cold, but we all had heat, and it was real nice and toasty. Here we ended up going through 5 of these avalanche sheds because this whole area is prone to avalanches in the wintertime. Normally when we plan a motorcycle trip, we don't go east in the mornings because the sun can be pretty brutal in your eyes. You can have those dark shields, but we found out that they really doesn't help to avoid the glare from the sun. And we came down the hill out of the mountains there and took a little break here. We traveled about 60 miles to get to this point right here. After coming down off the mountain pass, we stopped in Golden, BC and fueled up and took a break. Golden, BC was about 100 miles out of Revelstoke. We finally arrived in Fernie, BC, where we spent the night. It's about 200 miles from Golden. We went right through the middle, it seemed like, of the Rocky Mountain Range, and there was just some spectacular sights to see, mountain peaks and so forth. We got up early the next morning and headed south about 40 miles to the Canadian-USA border crossing, and we entered into the state of Montana. And I thought I'd pause here, and between these two black arrows is Lake Kukanuska. It's 50 miles long, right along that red line there. And it's really just a beautiful drive for 50 miles along that lake, and it was just calm as could be. And here we're on our last leg of our journey, just mounting up on our motorcycles, about 150 miles to Spokane.